Hello everybody, and welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. Today, I just got out of bed. Got life tip Steven. If I read in a car, I always end up wanting to hork. Always once upon a time, and there's my lunch, right where it doesn't belong. But chewing gum does totally help. That's fair. I wish I could chew chewing gum, honestly. My teeth are so messed up, I can't. It's really annoying. Don't want to ramble about depressing things today, though. I actually don't know what I want to do today. I might do today in 2 parts, because I know I want to go for a walk, but I also don't have all the time in the world, so... Hello! Yes, indeed. What are the turnip prices, my boys? 101. Alright. I'm gonna buy this little albino doll. I need to. No one else is gonna buy it. I gotta. Give it a home. There we go. But yeah, I don't really know what to ramble about today or talk about. And doing today in 2 parts could be kind of nice, if I'm honest. Because I'll probably have something to ramble about by, like, later today. I suppose I can kind of talk about how I've been having a fair bit of fun chilling in the voice channels in the Discord I've been being more active in. It's rather nice. Basically doing my best to help coach someone through, like, learning Balatro, which was nice. That was my last night, basically. Which ironically started by me just going, hey, I'm just going to be chilling in the voice channels if anyone wants to join. I'll probably just be level grinding in 14. And then I just ended up sitting there for, like, 7 hours. People coming and going. So... didn't exclusively do level grinding in 14. Actually, very little of that was level grinding in 14. Because, like... I basically got to the point where it's like... I had finished a run of a dungeon, and my Dark Knight was so close to a level, it felt like the game going, no, you're leveling up next time. And it's like, fine. Fine. Which also, I suppose, at the time of me talking about this, I think Final Fantasy XIV, like, when this goes up onto YouTube, I think they'll have a patch. Which I can imagine 14 fans are excited for. I'm in the corner just going, well, I guess I won't be logging in then. I'm gonna need a backup plan for my stream. Because if I can't get logged into 14, then I can't stream it, so... I suppose I can ramble about 14 a little bit as well. Namely, the people who play healers are really bad. Like, in general... At least, maybe this is, you know, this is my hot take here. But if I can tank content where the NPCs can easily keep me alive, players should have absolutely no problem keeping me alive. Hey, CJ's up here by Ed's house. He's helping keep an eye on Ed. I appreciate that, my man. But, like, when grinding out an armor set, because it basically, from poking around on the wiki, stats-wise, is the best armor set I'm gonna have for a little while for my tanks. Which is also convenient because it's a level 63 set, so my Dark Knight is just about to put it on. My Paladin, admittedly, is going to be outgrowing it soon, but for now, it's still better than all of the other sets, stats-wise. Defense-wise, no. But, like, critical hit, determination, tenacity are all higher on this set, which basically means, you know, I'm killing the enemies faster, and defense-wise, it's not that much worse. So, it really doesn't matter. Up in here and see, I cannot remember his name. Hamtaro. It'll take me a bit to finally get his name, but Hamtaro. Hey man, what's up? Hamlet. Oh, you're here. Perfect timing for an indoor workout, Hammy. What's the latest, my man? You know, sometimes it's not easy to tell if someone's rich. I mean, at a glance, some really built folks don't look that built. So I think every ripped bod needs a muscle shirt, Hammy. Just saying, why flex your modesty muscle when you're flexing those biceps? Because I don't really have great biceps, and I don't think I'd look good in a muscle shirt. Plus, I imagine, like, once I seriously start, like, muscle training, basically, I imagine it's going to be visible through the t-shirts, so, over to Gala. Because, like, you know, you can see my upper arms, so. I've seen you stay a while, Snorty. Let's talk. Reminds me, I had the craziest dream last night, and you were there. You and I were about to embark on a road trip, or were we on a boat? I've completely forgotten. Isn't it funny how the memory of a dream can just vanish in an instant? I mean, it can be a little funny that way, but... I actually had an actual dream recently, where all it was I was editing a video. That was the dream. I was editing. It's not even like I had edited before I went to bed. Nah, I just, for some reason, my brain was just like, tonight we are editing. And it's like, okay, brain. Whatever boats your float, brain. It's better than the alternative, so I'm not going to argue with it. I mean, the alternative has happened every other night, but that's just how my brain works, and it's kind of dumb. I don't like it. Paddle skirt. Ooh, I kind of like that one. Yeah, let's go with that one. Go full country cowgirl. No. No. God, I really could. Yeah, let's go with these slip-on sandals. Yeah. Come say hi to our favorite hedgehog. Mabel tells me you've been helping her out, modeling outfits and such. It means a lot to all of us, you do so much for our little family. Yay. Oh, I think I just woke up. I can't help it. But yeah, the quality of healers in 14 has really left me going, yeah, Paladin should be my main tank. And, like, I say that purely because, like, Paladin does have a self-heal. And also, like, it's more than just a self-heal. I can target others and heal them too. And I still get healing from it. So those times when the healer is absolutely letting everybody down, I can generally keep at least myself alive. So a lot of the time I have kept myself and a DPS alive. So, you know. There's actually a point I can think of where our healer just somehow died. Like, he wasn't taking aggro from anything. I think he was just standing in AoEs. And I was basically just like, right, I guess I'm the healer now. And just completely took over for him. Morning's neat. Wanna chat? best tasting island is Astera. Everything tastes great. Everything. I don't appreciate that you probably licked me, Simon, when I wasn't paying any attention. But it's fine, I guess. You having a little sit by the river. I wish I could sit down with it. Now stop and smell the flowers now, then, you know? Running around everywhere will wear you out. Don't you think, Queen? Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. The real danger, though, is when you sit down to smell the flowers and then you just don't want to go back to what you were doing. And then, you know, stopping to smell the roses then just cost you, like, a day of productivity because you're like, I'll do it later. It's also very much a case of playing between Dark Knight and Paladin in 14, where the Paladin has so many more damage mitigations that I can basically use to lower the damage between groups. Because I'll grab 2 or 3 groups at a time usually. Like, I don't wall to wall, but I'll grab 2 or 3. Usually it's groups of 2, mostly just because, like, a lot of the hallways in dungeons are set up in basically groups of 2. So, it's like it'll be like 4 or 6 groups, you know. Well, 4 or 6 individual groups that you can then break down into groups of 2. Good morning, and here's hoping it'll be a good day, Squeak. Stop for a chat. Let's make today our best day ever. I'm definitely gonna try my best. I got a bird wing, so that's a pretty good start. Oh, jeez. I apologize. My throat is still all... Ah. We have not seen Naomi yet. Let's come see Naomi. It's now noon. I think I'll do like all the morning stuff as one segment, and then I'll like cut to the after, you know, well, I was to say the afternoon, but the later day. Steven, do feel free to make yourself comfortable, Moolah. Want to chat? Ah, that's right. It's almost Hamlet's birthday. Yes, let's not forget that on the 30th of this month, we must all celebrate, Moolah. Right, I actually kind of forgot about that. So I got like 3 days to find him a gift. And it is not easy to find gifts in this game. I imagine he probably likes yellow. He probably likes toys, based on his house. So, if I can get him a yellow toy, he'll probably love it. Hey, Cilantro. What's up, my man? No, Rambler. What's mine's yours. What's that? Alright, listen up, kiddo. I'm gonna learn you an important lesson. Convenience is overrated. Like this whole email thingy. Oh, goody. You can send a picture of the smiley face through the Ethernet. In my day, you wanted to talk to someone, you had to walk over to their house and shout at them. Or you could always write an angry letter and tape it to their buggy when they weren't looking. What do you mean, how old am I? I mean, he could literally be 30. 29, 30. I mean, when I was a lot younger, email really was not a thing. There were email servers and stuff, but, like, it wasn't a thing everybody had. It wasn't a thing everybody needed. This is running. Like... even like when I was like 10 or so, like email was like, it was definitely starting to become a thing. If you wanted to play like an online game, you needed it. But past that, you basically didn't really need an email. And then like, before I was, you know, before I was even really into high school, which was only like a couple years later, emails were basically required. The school had an email for everybody. Like, it's like, ah, okay, the world has just suddenly moved. I still find it funny that, I don't think I've ever actually told this little anecdote. There were some people I knew while I was going to school. I wouldn't exactly say I was friends with them, but, like, I knew them, I was friendly with them. I wouldn't consider myself actively friends with them because we only ever spoke at school. Like, we never spoke outside of school. We never even attempted to make plans to speak outside of school. Like, it was just, we knew each other in school. Where they got busted for basically attempting to purchase weed because they were emailing each other from their school email addresses. These were not the smartest bunch. Where is our money rock? I don't think I've done the rock by Pinky's house. Yeah, like... And that is one instance where the school emails were definitely a good thing. Mostly because they were bringing a little bit of hilarity to everyone's lives. But yeah, now I want to go on this ramble, but it's going to take me absolutely forever to go on it. So I will try to abridge it. I am very much mixed on the way the world has gone when it comes to, like, mobile phones and internet connection and all this stuff. Because, like, on the surface, it's great. We're all more connected. It's easier to gain access to information. It's, you know, we basically can always contact each other. It's nice. It's great. And you really don't want to be the person that is, like, tech illiterate when it comes to, like, phones. Because, you know, I could realistically end up working somewhere where they're like, oh yeah, do this on your phone. It's like, do what? I don't know how to do that. Like, and that's purely just because until, like, basically until I was 17, I didn't even own a phone myself. And when I was 17, I didn't buy a smartphone. I bought a flip phone. I could have bought a smartphone. I could have, but I didn't see the point to it. Because in my mind, well, it's a phone. Why would I want it to do anything other than call people? Like, ironically, it could also browse the internet. It was very awkward at doing it, but it could do it. You know, you could browse the internet on it. Couldn't do much else. It didn't have, like, an app store or anything. It just was, you know, you can browse the internet. But, I didn't have my first smartphone until I was, like, 20, 21, somewhere in that range. And, like, I still, basically, like, 8-9 years later, still fumble with the phone. I don't know how to do a lot of things on the phone I've got. Like, it's honestly, like, a case where it's like, I know I should learn how to do things on my phone. The problem is, I don't know all of the things I'm going to ever need to know how to do on the phone. You know? It doesn't help that, like, every phone I've owned, every smartphone, has had a just slightly different UI to it that just makes it ever so slightly more frustrating to use. Or different features that make it frustrating to use. Like, this phone I have here automatically brightens the screen if it detects your face. And it's like, okay, but I don't want it doing that. Well, you can't turn that off. It's but why can't I turn that off? Oh, because it's a feature of the phone. Yeah, but I don't want that feature. Let me turn it off. On my PC, if I don't like a feature, I can uninstall it. I can get rid of it. I can, you know, I don't have to use features I don't like just because Microsoft says, hey, it's a feature. And that's thanks to the EU. Now, I kind of wish the EU would do that same thing for... Oh, no, I have done this rock. Haven't I bunked yet? I bunked that one. This one, maybe? Have I already found the money rock and just completely blanked on it? No, it's okay. I could swear I'd already bunked this one, but guess not. But yeah, the thing I'm torn on that is basically youngins with phones. Like, it's good for them to learn. And I know there's a fair few people who'd be like, ah, kids should never have phones. It's like, yeah, but I know firsthand that not knowing how to use a phone is a real detriment, and I'm not growing up right now. I'm already grown up. Like, someone who's not grown up yet, you know, someone who's still going through school, dealing with friends, friendships, all that stuff, like, having a phone would be a pretty helpful thing. At the same time, though, like, it does become a delicate balance of, like, okay, how do you monitor them without completely invading their privacy? Because, like, maybe it's just me, but, like, unless I had reason to suspect, I wouldn't want to be, like, reading through my kids' text messages, you know, or their emails. I'd want to keep an eye on what they're doing, but, like, I wouldn't want to, like, I'm just going to read through all of your texts right now. I'm not that kind of person. I don't even read through all of my own. Why would I want to read through all of someone else's? But, like, I also wouldn't want them to end up, you know, texting some 40-year-old creep, you know? And, like, there's no easy way I could keep track of that, and no one really could. But at the same time, you'd want them to be... Which, I mean, that just comes down to active parenting instead of passive parenting. Like... and teaching basic internet security. Any kid of mine is going to know internet security, and they are going to be made fully aware that their name should never be on the internet. They should never be using the internet without an ad blocker. There's a lot of places where if you don't think that website looks legit before you click on the link, don't click on it. You know, be very careful of your spelling, because a lot of the most popular websites have a misspelled website that is, you know, basically right near them that you could end up on, that are probably full of malicious things. You know, like, I do feel like you can teach this stuff, but also I do think that, like, as much as it would be really nice and convenient, I don't think if I ever have a kid that they're going to have a phone before they're, like, at least 10, 12. They can use mine until then, but, like, if they ever actually need a phone for something. Which, let's be real, I could see schools trying to integrate, like, you know, do this or that, or here's an app that you need, and it's like, You know, I'm gonna get my fishing rod out just so I can remember that CJ's here, and then, yeah, I'm gonna stop this little ramble and rant now before, like, I'm here for the next, like, hour, and I'm basically meet you guys back here later today for actually checking the afternoon turnip price, because I didn't do that, and also fishing for CJ, so see y'all later today.
So who's ready for some fishing and turnip prices? I get kind of caught off guard by the loading screen. It takes such a random amount of time, and I will never quite understand why. Like, sometimes it's almost instant. Sometimes, like that case, I was sitting here for almost like 30 seconds waiting in that loading screen. It's weird, man. Alright, so what are the afternoon turnip prices, boys? And am I gonna feel really bad for not checking them until now? 103. Okay, so they basically are unchanged. So I get the feeling this week might actually have an amazing price in it, given every price so far has been over 100. I do want to make mention that I have done some exercising today. Actually, I'm more or less saying I've upgraded from 10 pounds of weight to 15. It's really nice. Like, the fact that 15 now feels like what 10 did when I started, that's nice. That's progress. Like, oh, we got moon back there. New moon, I'm gonna guess. Even how dark it is. Now, is CJ still over here? Looks like CJ's shadow. Yes, he's still over here. Alright. What do you get this week, man? You blather as much as blathers. What's your challenge? What's your challenge? What is your challenge? Challenge. What is your challenge? Sea Sports Challenge? Alright. 3 big time fish. Besides a zebra turkey fish. Alright. So we need some big boys. Yeah, I'm aware, CJ. I'm aware. I know how all this works. Ed, I'm still ignoring you. Let me get my ladder out so I can get down to the beach. But, yeah, I also have a question for you guys. And this is, it's not exactly a serious question, but I would actually like to hear people's opinions on this. When counting a jumping jack, would you count every jump or only the jump where your feet come back together as a completed jumping jack? Because, you know, there is 2 jumps to your feet going out and then coming back in. So, you know, is that 1 jumping jack or is that 2? And if you end on, like, your feet going apart, where you don't do that final jump to bring them back together, you know, is that half a jumping jack? I ask because depending on how you count, I either did 100 or 200 jumping jacks today. Depending on how you count. Counting every jump would be, ideal for making that sound a lot more impressive. But, you know. I don't really care if it sounds impressive or not. Like, it's progress, man. Like, which really is all I could ask for, you know. We got a message bottle. To the lucky duck who picks this up. I was cleaning my house and found this old DIY recipe I thought up. I could have kept it myself, but decided to share, anonymous like. So it's so easy. Anyone can do it. Now get to work, Rocco. It's not very anonymous if you sign your letter. I am kind of struggling to think of things to ramble about. I mean, I could carry on with my ramble from earlier about technology and youngins, but, like, there's really not much left to say around it, you know. I can say, anytime I've unrolled my yoga mat, because I do have one now, it's really nice. Quite honestly, I could lay that out and use it as a bed. Like, I honestly find that more comfortable than my actual bed. But I'm also, like, I don't like beds. I'm literally only using it because it was gifted to me. Like, and we have nowhere else for it, so, like, I kind of have to use it. Like, it has to be somewhere here, and, like, there is no room anywhere else. So, you know. I mean, we could throw it out, but that's kind of a waste, you know? Anyone who who's seen my talking about me video should hopefully understand why I'm not a fan of beds. You would not believe how difficult it is for me to get comfortable laying in a bed. Or maybe you would. But yeah. Which I know it's been a while since that video, but I just need to say again, like, I really appreciate just, like, all the kind words in the comments, and just, like, don't reach that head. That went a lot further than I thought it was going to. Quite honestly, I thought that would get, like, 5, 10 views, maybe. You know, I wasn't expecting it to absolutely explode the way it did. So there is my 3 big-time fish, so... catch some more fish on my way back to CJ. Or not, because I messed that up. Really wish he would buy deep sea stuff. Like he should. It's still fish. Like, what does he got against the deep sea, man? Like... there's fish that come from the deep sea. Quite a few, actually. But, really trying to think of things to ramble about. I haven't really done much today other than, like, exercise. Suppose I did encounter a annoyance with Final Fantasy XIV I can talk about, because I did a little bit of finishing up level grinding there. Got my Dark Knight to 63. Got my Astrologer up to 40. I almost kind of want to try getting my Astrologer up before I continue with the story, but that would take way too long. Just to play through with a healer, just to see how that is. Because there's definitely been some moments where I don't actually see how a healer is supposed to do it unless the quests scale to the character. Like the class you're playing. Which would explain why my Red Mage, pre-62, was unable to win the fight against General Raubon. Because Red Mage, at least pre-62, is not an amazing DPS. Like my Samurai, which is considerably lower level than where my Red Mage was, which was 60 exactly. Like my Samurai at 56, my Samurai at 50, was dealing more damage per hit than the Red Mage. So, pre-62. The Red Mage reaching 62 was like a major turning point for the Red Mage. They suddenly started dealing damage. I also, like, I didn't, but probably could have gotten into an argument earlier and just kind of chose not to. Over in 14, AoE attacks versus single target, and when you should use either of them. And honestly, I feel like that falls into the same sort of trappings as Star Trek Online does. Where, in Star Trek Online, if you're using beams, you've got two options. Beam Fire at Will, and Beam Overload for your weapon skill. Beam Fire at Will fires your beams randomly at 2 targets within 10 kilometers of you for reduced damage. So basically, you know, you're firing twice, but you're dealing less damage per shot. Beam Overload is single target, but is a multiplier on your damage. So, like, max beam overload is 4 times damage. Meanwhile, like, beam fire at will is, like, effectively at max level is, like, maybe 2 times. And there is an argument that, well, because technically each of your beams can hit, you know, each target twice. If you have 8 beams, that's 16 targets. So you're basically getting 16 hits instead of 8. Yeah, that is very true. But beam overload, each beam is 4 beams now. So you're now effectively dealing 32 beams worth of damage. You literally can never win with beam overload. Not beam overload, beam fire at will. Now, when it comes to Final Fantasy XIV, it's not that extreme. But single target is higher damage. And like, there's a lot of generic clickables that a lot of classes will have that are just off cooldown, can be clicked anytime to just add extra damage. And like, it's very much a case where, in general, in raw potency, if there's 3 to 4 enemies, raw potency wise, you're dealing more damage to use your AoEs. But I honestly don't think it's quite that simple. Because, like, one, we don't know the whole damage formula, but we do know enemies have defense. And I would be willing to bet, this is just a theory, but just based on damage numbers I've seen from using a potency 240 skill, followed by one that was 170, and seeing that that 170 was like 60% of the damage of the 240. Like, I think it was around that. Like, it was considerably lower. Like, it was lower than what you would expect from the potency, is what I'm getting at. I think potency is what is pushed against the enemy's defense, and if your potency isn't high enough, you do virtually nothing. Like, I don't honestly feel like it's entirely additive. So, like, if you had, like, a lot of damage over times tend to be, like, 50 potency over, like, 30 seconds. So, like, that sounds like an amazing amount of damage, except it's not. Hey, Serrano, what up? Wonder what's on my mind, eh? Allow me to share. I was just thinking, if I were a pirate, where would I have my treasure? Now, for legal reasons, I have to state clearly that I'm not a real pirate. Now, that out of the way, wanna go looking for some buried treasure? Sure, I'm in. Giddy up. Got just the spot picked out. I'll have to get my shovel out, but I can do this. Hey, need a refresher on the rules? No thanks, I'm good. Alright, off you go, Squeak. Oh, he's giving me 6 minutes. Alright. So he's not confident in my abilities to find this treasure. I'm gonna check, like, my narrow paths over here first, just in case. I mean, 6 minutes still isn't a lot of time, but there is also a good chunk of the island that, like, literally it could not be buried on because it's covered in flowers, but there are paths in amongst those flowers, which, you know, can cause some problems. Yeah, Simon sitting down. But, like, I'm honestly in the camp of, and I'd have to test this. The problem with testing it is that it's not easy to test. But I'm pretty confident that, like, if I were to grab my healer with its AoE and use that on a random field enemy, that over the course of that AoE, I'm going to have dealt less damage than just using my basic attack, depending on the field enemy. That is what I'm currently thinking. Like, I'd have to test it, and I honestly don't know if the servers are even still up at this exact moment. I think they're going down at 7 p.m. Pacific, which is like 11 o'clock for me, so... I don't know. Well, I mean, they're definitely still up, but, like, I had other things I wanted to do as well, so... You know. Man, Serrano's pretty good at this. Usually I would have found the treasure by now. I wonder if it being a longer duration means that he buried it further away. And, like, it's guaranteed to be back here somewhere. Here it is. Nose itchy. But like, I am kind of thinking that might be the case. And if it is, that really does change when AoEs are actually useful. Because like, I'm also just thinking to like, playing, like being pulled down into the very first level 15 dungeon with my Dark Knight. My AoE and basic attack at that level are pretty close together in potency. Look at you. Secretly always knew you'd find it. Well, what are you waiting for? Hand it over so we can see what's inside. And there you go. Clothes. Clothes. Octagonal glasses. Not just any octagonal glasses, it's your octagonal glasses. What if I don't want Octavio's glasses? And you find the treasure was almost as much fun as me burying it. Let's play again sometime. Indeed, let's play again sometime. Like, I'm actually gonna pull that up really quick, because I want to give you guys an example here. FF14 skills. This may take a hot minute, so I'll be making my way over. Okay, it loaded immediately this time. So, Hard Slash, my basic 1 key, is 300 potency. While Unleash, my AoE, is 120. So, you would expect it to deal roughly a third of the damage. It was dealing maybe a fifth. So, like... Because my AoE was dealing about 80. My main hit was dealing like 420, 430, somewhere in that range. Like... And maybe that works out, percentage-wise. I haven't actually thrown it into a percentage calculator, but, you know. Got 3 big-time fish in a row already. It's gonna chat explode! I did not consent to that, CJ. But yeah, I'll sell you my fish. Alright. So I got a fair few here. Got a fair few pricey ones. 14,000 bells. 20,000 bells. Okay, CJ blowing my mind again. Usually I'm over with CJ. But yeah, like it's weird. It's definitely weird. Because, like... I don't know, like... AoEs feel a lot weaker than they look. That's probably the best way of putting it. I'll have to do some, like, real experimentations. No one really knows when it comes to 14. Yeah, we haven't really sat here to end episodes. But yeah, that is going to be it for this one, because the earlier segment was around 20 minutes. This one's now around 20 minutes, so... It seems like a fair amount of time for an episode. I've got stuff I do want to do tonight, so, like, I don't want to spend absolutely forever recording, even though I could. Like, I could upload, like, 3+ hour episodes. I doubt they'd get very many views, but I could upload them. maybe they'd get more. I mean, I did just see a no commentary long play of New Horizons. I had like 7K views, but like, I think it was like a 3-hour video of no commentary. But like, for all I know, that could just be a pretty popular no commentary channel. I mean, those exist. People like watching no commentary stuff. So I don't know, man. I don't care much about views anyway. Like, caring about the numbers is a quick way to end up depressed. That goes with anything. If I can give any advice today, it's that. Don't care about the numbers. Like, I get number go up feels good, but like, don't like massively cling to that, or else you will become depressed when number don't go up, or it doesn't go up as fast as you think it should. Like, just don't pay attention to the numbers. Just enjoy yourself. But with that, I thank you all very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you back here tomorrow for more Animal Crossing New Horizons. See you all then! And now in this end card, I would like to ask, if you liked the video, could you maybe hit the like button? And if you're not subscribed, could you maybe subscribe? It'd help me out a lot. Thanks a bunch.